Hi everyone. Have you seen the Netflix series called On the Hog? If not, I highly recommend it. It is hosted by a gentleman named Steven Satterfield, who I did not know before this series. Maybe I had heard of a magazine he did, Whetstone, I think. Interesting person, very bright, intellectual person, very thoughtful person. To my great delight, starring in one, if not more, of the episodes is a person who became a friend over the years and the author of this treasure book, Miss Jessica B. Harris. I could say Dr. Jessica B. Harris because she is a doctorate. Beyond Gumbo, Creole fusion food from the Atlantic Rim. You should have the experience of being in person with Jessica. She would let me call her that, as I have had with her, sharing red stripes, and I did mean plural, when we were together doing some festival in Puerto Rico some years ago. She is so articulate, and she has such a presence, like Maya Angelou, kind of a gravitas, but such a friendly one. This book was critical to me because I needed to learn about Caribbean food, and who better to teach me than a person with the background of Jessica Harris. Her introduction, Beyond Gumbo, Creole fusion food from the Atlantic Rim. Now, you may or may not know, but I am the first person to use the term fusion in regards to cuisine. I delivered a speech in Santa Fe in 1988 or 89. And on that stage that day, what we were asked to speak about is why we cook the way we cook. Along with me were other people that are friends and I have adored in my life: Charlie Trotter, God bless Charlie, Emeril Lagasse, and also with us other great chefs, Tom Douglas and Lydia Shire. And I gave my speech on fusion food. Now, when Jessica Harris wrote this book and she continues to use the word fusion, I was validated and vindicated in some ways, because some people have been very confused by that term, unfortunately, but life goes on. Let's talk about some of the words that Jessica has in here that I've highlighted. She has the title of this particular segment, Preponderance of Professional Women Cooks and Their Importance. The culinary Creole art is very much a woman's art. In many parts of the Creole world, the culinary dictum, mistress of the stew pot, master of the flame, holds vibrantly true. Men may man the fire pits, the jerk, the boucan, and the barbecue, but women, the true keepers of the flame of this culinary tradition, are in charge of such dishes as the bluffs and the callalus of the Caribbean, the moquecas of Bahia, and myriad other dishes of the Creole world. Her chapters, well, before we get to that, also incredibly helpful if you have an interest in becoming more proficient and more knowledgeable about Caribbean food. She helps you out greatly by taking the time to put in a glossary of terms. And I can tell you that I dove into these things many times in the effort to teach our teams what the words were on the menus that I was using, because French food, Italian food, certainly more well-known in the world of cuisine than Caribbean food, up until recently at least. And so sure, her glossary of terms is here. Another thing that she's done that's really helpful, and I did it in one of my books too, but maybe I learned the idea from her, who wouldn't be surprising. But she gives you the names in the soups and salads chapter of the dishes, like here, kidney bean soup, but then she puts the primary country that it originated from, in this case, Haiti. The dumplings for Jamaican, pepper pot, obviously Jamaica, sopa de elote, Aztec corn soup, Mexico, sopa de frijol negro, Cuba. You begin to ascertain that just like France, just like United States, just like Italy, the different provinces, the different regions of the country have so many different ways of expressing themselves. When I did write the book I'm alluding to, which is called New World Kitchen, I had no idea when I began to encounter the vast disparate nature of the foods of South America. That book, which is still out there, you can get it, World Kitchen, covered some 8 countries in South America, and the countries of Central America, and the countries of the Caribbean. If I had realized when I begun to propose this idea of a book to the publisher, what I was getting into, I probably would have collapsed in fear, because it's a daunting task to know these things. Told in a simple, straightforward manner, not like sub-recipe after sub-recipe after sub-recipe. Straight ahead, home cooking, Caribbean style, but through the eyes and the beautiful mind of Jessica Harris. I must share one more part with you. To my humbled, to be humbled, it's a good thing. And she humbled me when she asked me to write a blurb for her book. And I pulled the book off the shelf when I was looking for what treasure books I might choose to speak to you about today. And I realized I had contributed this blurb. Jessica Harris illuminates the dark, mysterious, and must-be-learned lessons of African Creole cooking. She belongs in the elite pantheon of writer-cooks alongside Elizabeth David, Elizabeth Lambert-Ortiz, Craig Claiborne, and a handful of others. Too often people are seduced by touristy Caribbean food that lacks the soul and bone-deep honesty that have sprung from the people who have turned bitter fate into delicious love. And she's done it. So thank you, Jessica, wherever you are today. So happy for you being on that show. I look forward to seeing you again, and I look forward to sharing the table and a couple of cold red stripes with you as well. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you soon. Go get this copy of the book for yourselves. It's fantastic.